Fantastic. Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your patience. It's been a couple of minutes, and that's because we've been trying to work behind the scenes to make sure everything is all set so that when we do start, we are starting on a good note. Yes, we were experiencing some technical issues, but they're all resolved now, thank God, and we are good to go. On that note, I say thank you again for your patience. My name is Mayawa Adegoke. It's a delight to join you this evening. It's about 11:30 p.m. Dubai time where I'm based, and I'm sure wherever you are, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, you're having a good time and you're ready to get into everything that has been put together for you this evening. Again, my name is Mayawa Adegoke. My friends call me the Lady Mayawa. So if you want to be my friend, please, by all means, feel free to call me the Lady Mayawa or Lady May for short. I'll be your host this evening. And just from working with the team behind the scenes, I promise you, everything you've been waiting for will be worth the wait. You're most welcome to the very first edition, the maiden edition of the Exodus 1820 mentorship platform, which we'll call TEMP. So anytime you hear me say TEMP this evening, just know I'm referring to none other than the maiden edition of Exodus 1820 mentorship platform. That's the at the beginning. So if you're wondering what's that T for, it's the. Thank you so much for joining. And what is TEMP about, right? What is TEMP about? Some of you probably joined because somebody sent you a link or you saw a flyer somewhere and you're like, oh, this looks interesting. I like the speakers. I want to join. Well, good place to be, first of all. But what is TEMP about? One line that I want you to hold dear to your heart, and of all the things you hear today, one thing I also want you to keep close to heart is everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs a coach. Whether you're in business, sports, entertainment, you're doing the 9 to 5 corporate girly or corporate guy, whatever your path, whether you're even a coach, even you need a coach. So everybody needs a coach. The Exodus 1820 mentorship platform, TEMP, is designed to enlighten, equip, and empower a generation of young leaders. The mission is simple, straightforward. It is to provide a platform where globally reputable leaders, such as our speakers this evening, can signpost the ancient landmark which require preservation and continuity, teach the younger generation God's ways and God's laws, model leadership, and share secrets to longevity and success models. They'll develop and empower mentees to operate in their God-ordained purpose, offer practical training, resources, internships, and mentorship programs aimed at developing potential leaders, encourage and sensitize leaders to establish delegation and mentorship systems, encourage the creation of accountability. In summary, TEMP is about godliness, governance, and growth. I'm hoping that you're already excited with this that I've shared with you about TEMP. And I want you to be fully engaged this evening because that's how you actually learn. So if you want to get the best out of everything on the lineup this evening, I need you to be engaged. And you can start by introducing yourself, wherever you're watching us from. If there's a chat box there, use the chat box, introduce yourself, tell us how you heard about this program, tell us what you're excited about this program, tell us who you're excited to listen to, and tell us what you want to get out of it. You know how sometimes when we go for church programs, they say you should come with an expectation. It's not any different here. We want you to come with an expectation. Have something in mind. You know what? You're spending the next 2 to 3 hours with us. We need you to come deliberate, be intentional, and be purposeful about the time that you're spending with us this evening. So go ahead, use the chat box, introduce yourself, tell us what you're looking forward to learning, tell us who you're excited to listen to, and share your expectations with as many who have joined already. To learn more about temp, please do go to the exodusplatform.com. That's the Exodus, THEEXODUS platform, PLATFORM.com. That's the website you need to log on to, of course, after this is all done, because we need your attention here. Follow that website where you get all the information and you can be a part of this initiative. As always, we like to start things with honoring God, welcoming His presence, because we do nothing of ourselves or by ourselves. And so to lead us in worship, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce T Worship, that is the ever-evolving worship, a dynamic and radical worship minister sent at such a time as this to set men on fire, to set children of God on fire, to set the world on fire through the atmosphere of revelational worship. Now, born into a family of 6, hailing from Ilesha, Osun State, my state in Nigeria, he's bagged a BSc Industrial Chemistry from the prestigious Olabisi Onabanjo University in Ogun State, of course from Nigeria. He's got a diploma in project management from Ireland, a member of PMI USA, holds certifications in HRM, monitoring and evaluation, CRM, all under the USAID. He also holds a PhD in youth ministry under RCBC, that's the Redeemed Christian Bible College. He's a full-time worship minister called solely to worship ministry with a mandate of salvation and healing. T Worship is a proud member of the RCCG family, where he currently serves as an assistant lead pastor in one of the youth expressions called RCCG LSC Abuja. He's happily married and is blessed with a daughter and son, and they all reside in Abuja. Without further ado, please make welcome T Worship.
Whispering tongues. There's a longing in my spirit. There's a longing in my heart. Longing in my spirit. There's a longing in my heart. As the deer pants after the water brook, so my soul pants after you. I need you more than yesterday. Lord, I need you more than words can say. I need you, Lord. I need you. Oh, you are being redefined. You are being rejuvenated. There's restoration happening right now, right now. But it needs you to desire. To desire. You have to desire. Desire it. Pant after it. Pant after it. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken just like to Peter, to me. And I'm looking for you. And I'm desperate for you. Like the deer pants after the water brook, so my soul sail on after you. I'm desperate for you. If your presence will not call me, follow me, carry us not from here. And I'm the potter, I'm the clay, you are the potter. I am longing for you. Remold me, rejuvenate me, crush me, break me down, and fix me again. I'm longing for you. You are the potter, I have the clay. And everybody say, and I am longing for you. so much. I'm panting after you, longing for you. You are the one who can fix me. I'm longing. You are the one who can fix me. You are the one who can. I am longing for Ashaka. I am desperate. I am desperate. Please, Lord, fix me. Fix me. Fix me. Fix me. Fix me. Shakwalapa. Eratakaka. Fix me, Lord. Break me down. Remove me. Remove me. Oh Lord, I am longing. There's a place called more. There's a place called more. Take me there. There's a place called more. Take me there. I am longing for a deeper realm. I am longing for a deeper level of intimacy. Where can we redefine? And Jesus said, Simon, thou hast set us with me a stone, and upon this will I build my church, and the gate of hell. I'm longing for. I am desperate for. There needs to be an activation. There's, oh my God, there's a river that needs an activation. There's a river out of my belly shall flow rivers of living water. I am desperate for you. Nations are waiting. This version of me might not be what nations need. I need to be redefined. So Father, I'm open. Take me there. Take me there. Take me there. Take me to that realm where I can be redefined, where I can be rejuvenated, where I can be restructured. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for. Oh, I'm desperate for you. Longing for you. Blessed that they that thirst and hunger after righteousness, for they shall be filled. They shall be filled. I'm longing for you. And Jesus said, Simon, thou art Cephas, which means a stone. One of the proofs that you have met with God is that your fashion will be altered. Your character, your nature will be altered. Just like happened to Jacob. The translation from Jacob to Israel, there was an alteration. And so there's a redefinition. My God. After now, you have been redefined. Amen. Something has shifted. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey! Hey. You could not preach to a soul. Who will begin to preach to 10 cities, 20 continents. I am my foot to the bone. Carry your presence everywhere. Who am I? Your mind is so full of me. Awesome man, awesome God. You will not suffer my foot to the bone. I carry enthusiasm everywhere. You will not suffer my foot to the bone. After you have been redefined, this is your testimony. You are carrying His presence everywhere, everywhere. Hey, you will not suffer my foot to the bone. I carry dunamis everywhere. What quite can I buy? You will not suffer my foot to the bone. I carry enthusiasm everywhere. Who am I? Your mind is so full of me. You say, awesome man. You are the awesome God. I'm just a mortal man. You are the awesome God. I'm just a mortal man. You are the awesome God. I'm just a mortal. You are the awesome God. I'm just a mortal. You are the awesome God. I'm just a mortal. After the definition, this is what we have. I begin to carry your presence everywhere, 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 everywhere. I carry the original presence everywhere, everywhere. No, you know that we are gods. No, you know that we are gods. This is who you become. After the definition, you carry His presence. You will not suffer my foot to be moved. You will not suffer my foot to be moved. You will not suffer my foot to be moved. Don't be afraid, for they that are with us are more than they that are against us. You will not suffer my foot to be moved. I carry Holy Ghost everywhere. Who are you? That Jesus is so mindful, mindful of you. You are the awesome God. I'm just awesome man. You are the awesome God. I'm just awesome man. You are the awesome God. I'm just awesome man. Awesome God. Hey, hey, I'm just a mortal. You are the awesome one. What is man that thou art mindful of me? What is man that thou visited me? Thou art crowned with glory honor. Many little know that the Elohim. Ekwashanda baba. Carry your presence everywhere.
Absolutely awesome time of worship. Thank you so much, Minister T Worship, for that amazing worship session and for singing us, just carrying us into the presence so powerfully with that theme worship. Because the theme of the program is redefined. And indeed, just as you have spoken, we are ready and we are willing for the transformation that will come through God's presence. And as He speaks to us through our speakers and the leaders who have gone ahead of us, and we're going to draw from the wells of wisdom this evening. It is just about time to bring our very first speaker up. It is my honor to introduce Pastor Tony Cole, and I'll read a bit about him. He's a man of many parts, a man of many feathers, and there's so much to say about him. but this much we will say for just this evening. So you have an understanding of his journey and just who you have come to draw from this evening. Tonya Patrick Cole was born on the 11th, of January 1967 in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, to Mr. Patrick Cole, a former managing director of the Daily Times newspaper and former ambassador of Nigeria to Brazil. As an academic, he has passed through the great halls of learning, including Corona School Lagos, King's College Lagos, King's School UK, University of Lagos, and Universidade de Brasilia, Brazil, where he received a BES, B.Arch with honors in architecture and a certificate of proficiency in Portuguese, respectively. Tonya Patrick Cole is an alumnus of the Harvard Business School and is currently part of the Transformational Leadership Fellowship Program at the Blavatnik School of Government, Oxford. Tonya's career in architecture started in Brazil before he returned to Nigeria in 1993. Now, shortly after, he became the managing director of Sahara Energy Resource Limited, which he co-founded with his pals, Tope Shinobi and Ade Odunsi in 1996. Mr. Cole is a co-founder and former group executive director of the Sahara Group, an energy conglomerate with activities across Africa and beyond. He sits on several boards and committees. He's passionate about social impact and governance. Mr. Cole spearheaded the Sahara Foundation, which supports the actualization of the UN SDG. He's a founder of the NGO Nehemiah Youth Empowerment Initiative, which aims to influence change in Africa. In 2018, he made the life-changing choice to seek a career in politics in order to change the political narrative of his own state, Rivers State, in Nigeria. He began his career as the governorship candidate of the APC in the 2019 governorship elections in Rivers State. Now, although he did not emerge as governor in that election, he remained steadfast in his pursuit of good governance in leadership across Nigeria. He is a multi-awarded man, well-recognized, well-decorated. He won a Lifetime Achievement Award from the United Kingdom Oil and Gas Council in 2017. In December 2019, New African named him amongst top 100 most influential Africans alive. Amongst others, he has been recognized and awarded for his diligence in his pursuit of excellence. He's a speaker, writer, teacher, and mentor. He's married to Dr. Sylvia Cole, and they have 3 adult children. Without any further ado, please make welcome our very first speaker at TEMP, Pastor Tonya Cole. The floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you just confirm you can hear me loud and clear and I'm not speaking to myself?
Loud and clear.
Excellent, excellent. So there was some buffering when you were speaking, and I'm hoping it's not my internet, but whatever it is, if I'm coming across clearly and you can see me clearly, then that's excellent. I can then run ahead with this. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much, and thank you for that amazing worship session. I think it started us just right, and it's exactly what I needed to hear. I'm speaking to a generation that I hope would be tired of the word future leaders, potential leaders, leaders of tomorrow, all the phrases that put you in a place where tomorrow never comes. You always wait for that tomorrow and you never see it. I'm hoping that the generation I'm speaking about is not just tired of hearing that, but has determined themselves that leadership and their position in history is now. It's written by them at this point, right now, and that they're not just at the verge of taking over anything, they have taken over, and they're defining who they are, what they want, and what it means you fall in this category, then I'm speaking to the right crowd. If you are outside of this category, I hope that by the end of this series of discussions that you're about to embark on, that you have changed your entire concept and what it means to lead. The title for today talks about being redefined, and that's acceptable for now. And I'm hoping that by the time it's completely over, not only would you have known that you're redefined, but you become the definition of what leadership is. You become the definition of what leadership is. In other words, you're the one who leads. But before that, let me thank the organizers. The lineup is excellent. You have some amazing speakers, and you've given me the honor to start, which helps me a lot because I know that some of those speakers that you have there will put me to shame. And so I can only begin and set the bar for them, and I'm certain that the best will come at the end. By the time you get to the end of this conference, my responsibility will be long done, which is to set the tone. And please don't miss any. Don't miss what your speakers have to say. So thank you very much to the organizers for bringing me in to this space to have this conversation with you. I'm going to be speaking today from a lot of life experiences, but I want to hold on to the three topics that are the three headlines that were mentioned as guides: godliness, governance, and growth. Godliness, governance, and growth. And I will speak about life experiences in these three categories with the hope that what has been done in my life may translate into yours, and you should see changes happening with you as you move along. So let us start with the first: godliness. If you're going to lead at all, and if you're going to be anything in this world, you have to know who you are. And who you are is not determined in any way by what people say you are. It's determined by who God says you are. No matter how hard you try, if you run your race by what people say you are, you're bound to fail. If you run your race by looking at how other people are running their race and you're keeping your eyes on them, you will stumble, you will fall, you will fail. If you run your race because you're looking for the accolades of men, you will fail. And each one of us has tried doing this several times, I inclusive. I remember in secondary school, one of the earliest lessons I learned about running your race. I wasn't the greatest at sprints, just wasn't my thing. I couldn't sprint to save my life. But when it comes to middle distance running, I was fairly good. Not the best, but good enough. And I was the anchor on a 4x400 meter relay race. I was the last anchor, the last of the four. In other words, it was my responsibility to take my team to the finish line. If you understand relays very, very well, the strategy would be that the first and the third anchors will be your strong, very strong ones. The first one will start very well. The second anchor will do well, but it may lose some ground. The third will catch up, and then the fourth should bring it home. The fourth is meant to be the finisher, the one who will take it across the line. And that was my responsibility. The responsibility of leadership at the end of the day usually falls in these categories: those who start, those who finish. And this was given to me. The first guy took off. He ran his heart out. He was at the head of the track. Handed over to the second, who handed over to the third. And by the time it was handed over to me, I was at the front of the race. I took the first bend, ran down the straight, took the second bend, and then the last straight is the 100 meters to the end. At this point, when we're on the straight, anybody who is an athlete, the last part of this race is where everything breaks or is made. At this point, you're tired. This is the point where the crowd is the biggest. This is where they are shouting, and you don't know whether they are shouting for you or booing for you. They don't know. You don't know whether they're warning you or they're telling you things. You must focus on two things. Focus on the tape, the end in front of you, and focus on your lane. Stay in your lane. If you go out of your lane, you're disqualified. If you take your eyes off the end of that rope, you will lose. These are life lessons taught right from the sports ground. Anyway, back to my race. So I took the baton. I was running down the street. And the next thing I heard were steps and the breathing over my shoulder. Steady breathing of somebody who was not there before and suddenly was catching up with me. The end looked long. The shouting of the crowd was loud. I had no idea who they were shouting for. But I made a fundamental mistake that no athlete should ever make. I looked over my shoulder. In looking over my shoulder, in other words, I looked back. In looking over my shoulder, I lost rhythm, I lost strength, I lost focus. This classmate from the north, strong man, he was running as if he hadn't even broken sweats, as if he had just started. And he passed me and made me feel like I was just standing. And believe me, my spirit broke. From the first, I found myself losing ground and off the podium completely. Brothers and sisters, that taught me a very big lesson in life. Every race is unique. Every athlete is unique. Strategies come in, your positioning come in, but at the end of the day, the race is yours and it's yours alone. God gives you purpose and he puts you out there for something. And it's very important that you determine what that is. As I grew older and I began to find my feet and my place in life, I realized very early in this journey that purpose and the determination to pursue something meaningful was important. My university years studying architecture began to cause my mind to blow, to imagine and visualize things that were beyond anything that I felt possible. I saw myself globally as an architect that will go all over the world, building skyscrapers and with a name that was instantly recognized, that will be studied by architecture students the world over. It didn't matter to me today that I am not performing as an architect, nor do I have buildings that are all over the place designed by me. That wasn't what it was about. It was just the understanding that there was something bigger and a purpose much larger than you. to pursue. And those dreams began to formulate inside of me, right from architecture, right from my university days. I attended a seminar today of a girl I met when she was 11, I think. From the time she was 9 years old, she had begun to pursue her purpose as a filmmaker, as a documentary maker, as an advocate for child education, meeting and speaking to presidents, interviewing them, and driving conversation around policy change for female, the girl child, for the girl child. This young girl, Zuriel Oduwole, had met me when she was 11. Today, 11 years later, at 22 years old, she has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Only two Nigerians have ever been nominated, Wole Soyinka and Zuriel Oduwole. "9 years old. You are never too young to discover your purpose, never too old to redefine yourself." At 9 years old, she began a journey where she knew that this was what she wanted to do. Her parents began to support her. She would cold call presidents. They would find ways, and she began to meet and push this agenda for the girl child. Purpose is critical. But what has driven all of this has been the issue of God. Who does God say you are? Do you believe that you have been created to make a difference? Do you believe that you have been created for a purpose? In pioneering and opening up businesses, areas, politics, whatever it is that I put myself in, I've been very clear to myself that God has sent me into places where people are afraid of going, where they say that it is impossible for you to win. It's impossible for you to succeed in those areas. And those are the places that challenge me to go. I know that I have a calling to go and open up things, to start things, to begin things, to position things in impossible areas. Nigerian politics is one. As I was turning 50, I had another opportunity to redefine my life. What next? I'd climbed the corporate ladder to as far as I wanted it to be. I had made the dreams that I used to see as a young architect, architectural student, it had become a reality in oil and gas. I traveled the world, opened offices in over 30 countries at the time, employed well over 4,000 people, turning around turnovers well in the billions of dollars. I've met presidents, ministers, all sorts of people. But there was something more. There was something more, something bigger that we needed to do. When it came to business and challenging business, the world was no longer something to be afraid of. In my mind, I'd gotten to that place where there was no size of business and no transaction size that would frighten me. I remember meeting up with Shell when they were doing the Seplat deal. At the time, Seplat was doing their deal with Shell, the very first deal that they were doing with Shell. Shell was discussing with two people. They were discussing with me and they were discussing with Seplat. The strategy for Seplat at the time was to just go for the one asset that they had. It was the first time that Shell was going to sell an asset. And so Shell was discussing with Seplat. But my vision was a bit different. I used to watch on CNN and I would see the bar scrolling under. And I used to say to myself that one day you will see that scroll say, Nigerian conglomerate, Sahara Group, buys Shell Global for, I don't know, X billion, couple of billions of dollars, $1 trillion. I see it. So that's what I used to see. And so when we went for that negotiation, and Shell brought this proposal that, okay, you know what, these are all our assets. We want to divest in one asset. Can you take a look at the asset? We're looking for Nigerian companies who are competent to go into this. Take a look at the assets, choose one and let's negotiate. I sat down, I looked at those assets, and I said to Shell, if you want to do this, do it once. Don't do it in piecemeal. Let us negotiate and we'll purchase your entire Western fields, everything from Warri all the way to Lagos. They looked at me and they said, put it together. And I began to negotiate and put together a mega deal to purchase all of Shell's assets in their Western assets in Nigeria. It was billions of dollars of negotiation. But it so happened that about the time when we're now ready to do that deal, the world economic crisis happened and the world did not have money to pay. The only place that had the money was China. And so I had to start going to China to look for the money to pay for that. And the Chinese looked at me and said, why would Shell agree to sell their whole Western asset? They just did not believe it. And as a result of not believing it, they didn't pay for it. Fast forward, we're talking about 15 years or so, 12 years, 15 years. Fast forward till today, Shell has sold their entire Western assets. They've divested completely in every place that I said they would divest from. There's something about godliness and prophecy and foresight when you're operating in this realm. As leaders, know yourself, know your words. They are powerful and they work. But maybe I was ahead of my time. I often say that the Lord has blessed me with seeing far. But everything that I see ahead, long ahead, sometimes I'm ahead of it, but it happens. Shell diversified completely. We did not get all of Shell Western because that deal couldn't close, but we bought some. Seplat, others bought a few. And very recently, a particular company came together and they bought the rest. Why am I telling you this? Leadership without the prophetic and apostolic anointing does not work. But once you have it and you understand it and you stand in it, you will lead. And so, you need to be able to have dreams and visions that put fear in you, that people will not believe. Like I said, the Chinese just did not believe. They felt it was impossible. And I'm talking about 15 years ago. So I was young, continued to be audacious and bold, dreaming of things and pursuing deals that were big. But why did I start this story? If your dreams are not bigger than you and they don't frighten you, then it's not worth it. I always had a saying, and please keep this saying, that what it takes for you to pursue 1 million is the same that is going to take for you to pursue 100 billion. The same effort, the same time, the same proposal, the same writing, the same 24 hours, the same relationships. So if you're going to pursue a deal, then make it worthwhile. If you're going to pursue a dream, make it big. If you're going to secure something in this world, then secure it well. But guess what? It doesn't happen overnight. And so don't despise small beginnings. I didn't get there overnight. There were errors, there were mistakes, there were fallings, there were learnings all along the way. But you see, that thing inside of you that God says that you are His, you are created in His image. He's a big God and you are big as well. It never leaves you. And so, governance, to purchase Shell, I had to go back to the office and start telling them that, you know what? This is what we want to do. Believe me, you didn't even have a marginal field at the time when I started this process. This was the first time I got that vision was around 1999, 2000. We were small as a company. But because I had that vision, I said, we need to go into upstream. Then we were doing very well in the midstream sector. And I said to my partners, we need to go upstream. I saw this vision. That's what we need to do. Where did I start? I started with a marginal field, a small field. We took that small field, we went for others and started building a portfolio till I was confident enough to say that now is the time to push for the big one. I could have gotten one asset, producing asset from Shell, maybe at the time, but I just felt that this big vision is something that we must pursue. But to the point of governance, because I knew that we needed to pursue this acquisition down the line, then it meant that you had to put everything in place. A governance structure built on integrity. Your records had to be perfect. Your bank account could not be missing. There was no question of your integrity. Your yes must be yes. Your no must be no. If you say you're going to do a deal, you must do that deal. If you close a deal today, Naira dollar exchange, and tomorrow you close the deal, word of mouth, and you say it's done, you are selling, I don't know, whatever, $1 million. And they tell you that the price for you to sell it today is 1,550. And you are ready, you say done. And tomorrow the price drops from 1,550 naira to a dollar, and it drops to 1,400 naira to a dollar. You don't say, sorry, I'm not doing it again. Your integrity must be clear. People must know you to be authentic. And so when I went into politics, the first thing that I encountered in politics was that people were not authentic. Lying was the order of the day. Your yes cannot be taken to the bank. If you say yes, tomorrow is no. And you say all is politics. I sat down and I said that no, I am going to be authentic. They may not like it, but I will say exactly as it is. Oh, that's not good politics. That's very bad politics. I said, no, that is who Triangle is. We will set the rules and we will be the change for what it must be. And so I decided that I will pursue a bigger vision because we set the governance principles for business and it worked perfectly. Anywhere you go, 28 years in Sahara, everywhere you go, the record is the same. They will tell you straight off that if you enter into a business with this company, they will do what they say they can do. No doubt. That is exactly what Nigeria needs in terms of leadership in politics and governance. You need to know that as you are being fashioned, whether you're going into the public sector, private sector, or you're going into politics, you will be authentic. People must know that what you say you will do is exactly what you will do. Lying can only get you thus far. It will bring you crashing down beyond anything you can believe. And so, godliness and governance, in other words, governance is about self-control. It's about knowing yourself. It's about trusting and allowing people to know who you are. If you cannot govern yourself, believe me, you cannot govern anything else. If you cannot control yourself, if you cannot discipline yourself, you cannot discipline anybody. If you cannot discipline yourself in fasting, if you cannot discipline yourself in prayer, if you cannot discipline yourself in anything, iniquity, if you cannot discipline yourself in the word of God, you will not be able to govern. If there are things, and just check this out, if there are things that have destroyed the greatest of men and women, it is the lack of discipline with money, the lack of discipline with women, and the lack of discipline. Well, men and women depend. Okay, so let me change that. Lack of discipline with men, with money, lack of discipline with sex, and lack of discipline with power. Those three will destroy you any day. And when you look at it, it's an internal self-governance tool. It's a mechanism of governing self. The first place that you must govern to conquer the world and conquer your leadership journey is yourself. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. You cannot control anything. You cannot make any change in this world if you cannot control self. And finally, when you add godliness, in other words, your purpose as created by God, knowing who you are in terms of your position with God, when you add all of that with governance, there's only one thing that comes out of it, and that is growth. You see, people often say that, they're there, they're in the hustle, they're in the rat race, they're there to chase money and all of that. And I often tell them, I said, as long as you are chasing money, you will never find it. You will be chasing money all the days of your life. Money will be ahead of you. Rather, pursue excellence. Determine that you will be diligent at what you do. You will be the best at what you do. And guess what? Where you are, they will come and look for you. They will come and look for you. In the last year and a half, as I begin to prepare for the next round of politics, I came out and the Lord said to me, set up certain structures. some business structures, and told me exactly where he wanted me to go. Metals, mining of precious metals and all, technology, AI, cybersecurity, infrastructure on technology. Go and deal with those ones. And all. So he told me the sectors, 3, 4 sectors to go. Go and prepare those things and get it right. And just obediently started preparing them. I had just some bases before we go into politics. And I kid you not, the number of people that have called me out of the blues with their business proposals, just saying, come and invest. Just have changed my methodology a bit as to what type of business, just following the instructions that I've heard. People call, they bring their proposals out of the blue. So I have something to share with you. I have a proposal to share with you. I would like you to take a look at this. I want you to come and invest in this. I would need you to be a partner here. Would you consider doing this? Consistently. You don't have to chase anything. Just be good at what you do. They will look for you. Be the best. Determine it from today that you will be the best at what you do. They will pursue you. You will be sought after. You will be looked for, and they will present it to you. Now, it takes time. You cannot be the best overnight, but you can build the reputation to be the best. And people will watch. Whatsoever you find your hands to do it well. Don't despise small beginnings. It will play out for you. It will work. But growth comes by virtue of being diligent. Always think about it. The way I always see this is the way I see seeds that God has taught us in nature. The biggest Iroko tree in the forest, the biggest one in the forest, started off as a small seed. It died, became a small plant, and began to grow and grow and grow. But no matter how big that Iroko tree gets, it does not make a forest. If it stands alone, it remains a tree. The only way that that Iroko tree becomes a forest is that it must produce fruit that drops for others, and other Iroko trees grow from that fruit, and it continues to germinate and they continue to grow until it becomes a forest. I close with this. The growth that I have experienced in this life has only been made possible because God has given me ideas and blessed me. I have developed self-discipline and self-governance, but I have harnessed relationships that have worked on my weaknesses and has become my strength. The areas that I am weakest at, I have people who are very strong at it. God has never given any man 100% ability to do everything. Only God is able to do that. And I am not God, you are not God. Which means that you will have your weaknesses and you will have your strength. Take your area of strength and amplify it tremendously. People will come to look for you for that strength. In the area of your weakness, look for people who have strength, tremendous strength in where you're weak. Bring them to you. Together you make a forest. So I used to say, and I still say this to those who work with me. The only way that I know that I have grown is when I have people who work with me that are bigger than me, brighter than me, more wealthier than I am, and all, and we're together. The kind of association you have will determine how far you will go. Hang around with people whose mindset propels you for greatness, you will be great. My partners and I used to say, the company that we set up will have multi-millionaires that are staff of that company, and in their own right are multi-millionaires. We started saying that when the company was less than 1 year old. 28 years later, there are multiple multi-millionaires working in that company today. The politics that I am driving today is driven by the fact that by the time we end, by the time I have ended this process, my own time is done. There will be multiple people who have done brighter, greater things than I have, who will come to serve, not because they want to steal money, but because they want to come and make a difference. And you are one of those. You are one of those. And that is how I measure success. That's how I measure growth. At this point, I will stop so that we can have time for questions. Over to you, Mario. I can speak a lot more, but I think we can keep it at this point. All right.
That was just amazing. Like back-to-back gems getting dropped, walking us through godliness, governance, and how all that leads to growth. Thank you so much for sharing so richly from your experiences, your wisdom, and your insight. I'm sure that a lot of people have gotten, not just one, not just two, but, just several nuggets, experiences, ideas, lessons that they can run with in their own personal journeys. But since we still have the honor of spending a bit more time with you and to also ask you some questions, I think the first question I'd like to ask you, and this question got inspired by your, the race, the story you started with, how, that race you got distracted, that was catastrophic. And that was the first question that popped into my mind. I said I was going to ask you, how do you, in all your years, how do you manage failure? How do you define failure? How do you manage failure? Because a lot of people struggle with failure. They struggle with things they perceive as failure. And then they get entrapped in this thing. They feel like, you know what, I'm not going far. There's not much to me. Sometimes it's not even maybe the events that have occurred. It's also the environments that they come from, where, they've been spoken down on a lot. They've not been surrounded with people that would sort of push them and believe in them and give them that moral, mental boost. So in your journey, how have you navigated confidence? But first, failure rather, but first is, what is failure to you? How do you define failure?
So at the beginning of one's life, failure starts from a point where you're in school, you take an exam, and you're made to feel so guilty when you fail. Everybody looks at you, you're a dullard, you're this, you failed, and all of that. And you come to associate failure with guilt and shame. And as long as that is the case, you then develop the fear of trying to do anything at all. And probably where my life kind of changed when it came to failure was from two perspectives. The first was that I learned that punishment was just a consequence for decisions that I have made. And so once I have made that decision, then whatever the outcome is a consequence that I must just be ready to bear. When I no longer began to blame anybody else for what is called failure, success, but I just looked at it that this is a consequence and I will bear it, it changed my mindset. I was a troublesome kid. And when I talk about consequence, I mean they used to beat me, punish me, all sorts of things. But I just realized that, okay, you know what? You might as well enjoy the experience of what you are doing and then accept the consequence for it. And that changed my entire life to what failure is. So, what do I define failure as today? I never fail. I learn from experiences now. I enjoy the experience and I know that it is something that will move me towards a better place because I'm just learning whatever it is. So I ran for an election in 2018. They said, "Oh, you failed for that election." I said, "No, I didn't fail. I learned the underbelly of the beast. I understood what politics was about." I ran in 2023 on the basis that I knew a lot more from the experience of 2018. And believe me, what I know today, based on what I went through in the Supreme Court, is by far more than anybody in my position knows. So I have gained invaluable experience from what people term as failure, which I don't term as failure, I just term them as learning experiences. So now everything I put my hand onto is something I learned from. It's a challenge I cherish, I go through it, I learn from it, I'm never ashamed of it. Once it's over, what have I learned? We move to the next one. And that's basically how I have come to term success and failure. I just look at it as learning experiences and we move on to the next.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that insight, because to be honest, a lot of people do struggle with that failure mentality. And just as you said, if they can only see it as just a learning curve, a consequence, perhaps, they're able to move on and disassociate from that shame that is often
Absolutely.
tied to it. Plus, I like to always say that, listen, if there's somebody out there who has failed before and then turned around, then what stops you as well? If you think that you've failed, then if there's somebody out there who also failed and they still ended up well, it means you too, it can end up well. So soldier on,
Absolutely.
essentially. Let's talk about mentorship. Ultimately,
Hmm.
this entire temp is about mentorship. And I'd like to get your thoughts on what you see as a leader, not just with yourself, but even amongst your peers, because we need more people who have gone ahead to share, to hold the hands of others, to create initiatives like this, and share their experiences, share their knowledge, so that others don't have to start from scratch. Would you say that we have enough of that going on right now? Is it that the people who are ahead, who we expect to do a lot of the mentoring, they don't have as much time, or they're not awakened to that responsibility? Do they even know it's a responsibility? Or is it that the younger ones are not pushing enough? Because sometimes they listen, if this person is ahead, you need something from me, then you better try and catch up with me. How do we balance that? And what is the landscape right now in terms of leadership, not just with you, but generally what you see?
Okay. All right. So essentially, there's never in this world going to be enough, anything like enough mentorship. Okay. Because people change, times change, sectors change. Today, I learn a lot more. I've always done reverse mentorship. So I learn a lot more from younger people than I learn from my peers most of the time because there's a different type of generation. Right now, being mentored and tutored to how to deal with the workforce as a Gen Z workforce, totally different from my life and what I understand. So you need to consistently be in a mode to learn. But people come up to me and say, "Oh, sir, can you mentor me?" I say, "No problem." But do you really understand what mentorship means? Now, mentorship is a tough thing. It requires that you pay attention to people, you ask them questions about their growth, you monitor them and all. Who should be the one pursuing? Is it the mentor or the mentee? Which is one of the questions that you ask. And I think You see, if you're going to demand of my time, then you should show that you actually appreciate that time and that you are ready to go. And I'll give you an example. This one is a big example. So I went to, there was a time after President Obasanjo had left office, and I wanted to learn some things from him. So I went to him and I said to him, I said, Baba, I would just like to shadow you for a bit. Just see how your day is, wherever you're going and go. So he said to me that, I hope you're not expecting me to pay for your trips. I said, no, don't worry. Wherever you go, I'll pay for myself. So this was something I could afford to do. Just figure out what you can afford to do. But I wanted to spend some time and just travel with him, see what it's like. But man, this was the man who at the time was 70 something or thereabouts. And so I started traveling with him. Wow. The work ethics, the ability to get up. He will come back every day when we go out, we'll take notes. He will have meetings, series of meetings. As soon as we get back, the first thing he does once everybody gets back is he sits down and says, okay, give me a rundown about the day. What did you learn? What did you do? What did you do? No matter how tired you are, you do all of that at night. And then the next morning, 6 a.m., he's up before everybody. Come for morning devotion. And then you do the devotion, and the next thing he's asking is that, okay, what's the plan for the day? Let me have the schedule. What are the questions to ask? What do you do with this? What do you do with that? And all of that. And then he's gone. But this is where he doesn't wait for anybody. Once he's ready to go, he enters the car and is gone. If you are not seated in the car, you are gone. He left people at the airport. He's not looking back. As far as he's concerned, you want to learn from me. So you must be ready to follow what I do. You are the one that said you want to learn. He left somebody in, where did we go to? I think we went to India or I think it was India. We went to India 2 days in and out, meetings upon meetings. And next thing we went to the airport, and from India, we were going to, I can't remember where, Singapore or something. This guy, I don't know what he was doing. He forgot him and he wouldn't ask. By the time we got to the airport, on the plane, where is the guy? Nobody knew where he was. Papa left. The guy had to find his way to the next place. I mean, do you understand? So mentorship is about you deciding that you want to observe, you want to learn and all of that. I did it for a couple of months. And once I understood what the schedule was, I left. Till today, he laughs at me. He will see me and say, you ran away. You saw ethics, you ran away. But the point was that I had gotten what I wanted. I'd seen what I needed to see. I'd understood that you create your own schedule, you create your own life, you create what you want. What I saw him do was reinvent himself so that he became relevant, even more relevant than being president than before. And that's what I wanted to learn. How do you reinvent yourself such that after one point, you become even more relevant in an afterlife? Many people finish public office and they die. You never hear from them again. But not Obasanjo. I wanted to learn that and I understood it. So that's what mentorship for me is. If you choose that you want to be mentored, then you must go out of your way to make sure that you know what you want to get from that mentor and you learn it and take it. And then once it's done, once you're complete, please move on. Don't become an albatross. Don't become a burden. It's not by force. Once you have finished learning, move on. Let other people come and take the space. That's what I believe mentorship is about.
Thank you. Thank you for, just giving that balance. And I do agree with you that there's also the responsibility on the mentee to make sure they're catching up. So not because I want to give you, you're going to slow me down. So catch up. You want to understand what it means to be me, then you work on my time. You work on my energy, perhaps.
My pace, absolutely.
So we have a question. Here goes, and I'm going to read it. When the Shell deal fell through due to the closure of funding sources, How did you maintain your resilience? Was it easy to reset the plan and keep going?
Yes, it did. So what that I think I missed the point. I forgot the point that caused me to raise that issue. So thank you for this question. What that did for me almost immediately was that I knew pursuing that deal that there was no size of deal that would ever frighten me again. Because here I was negotiating in the billions of dollars. And I think the size of that deal at the time was, I can't remember, I think it was about $8 or $10 billion at that time. And that was the size of the deal for a young person and all of that we had discussed. But after that, look, we closed. Anyway, let me leave that. So there are So I think what that did for me basically was that there was nothing, there's no fear of any kind of transaction. If you bring a deal to me today and you say that, you know what, this is $1 trillion transaction, global transaction, buy all the oil companies in this world, or go after the technology companies, Amazon or whoever, and we can put the deal together. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not worried anymore about the size of the deal. It just has to make sense. The timing has to be right. I mean, I learned a lot of things from the Shell deal. I was ahead of the time. There were certain things that I needed to have brought on my side before going out so that it will make it more believable, make people more acceptable with it. So there are things that I learned from that exercise, but fear of the deal, and we're not afraid anymore.
Fantastic. We have another question. How would you advise someone who wants to go into politics to start? How should they start?
Okay, so very easy. So the first thing is that with politics, you have to first go back to your roots. You see, these are some of the things that I learned. The way Nigerian politics behaves in a very peculiar way. And one of the first things that it does is that everything that you have done outside of your hometown is not counted at all in the first instance. So which broom did you buy for them in the hometown? Oh, you have given all of this. You've been to United Nations. You've been to this. You've been to that. You've spoken here. You've been to Harvard and all of that story. At the beginning of it, what are you known for at home? So for you to even begin, just start by doing little things at home. Very little things. Become a member of an association. Even if you're sending 1,000 naira dues to your local women association in your hometown every day, oh sorry, every month, it's fine. That's okay. They will know that Sister Ronke sends 1,000 naira for the burial of so person and all of that. You become one of them, they know you. So that becomes that for me, that's the basic start. And a lot of people miss this point because they don't know how vital it is to have that root back into the home ground. Now, once you've done that, that's the basic thing. You see, every other thing after that then becomes the kind of relationship, the networks you have, what you want to do, where you want to make an impact, where you want to change. But everything starts from that basic, who are you in your community?
Fantastic. I'll add a follow-up question to that. In Nigeria, and even in so many parts of the world, politics is either a dirty game or a very controversial, high stakes. You can't go there with like kid gloves or white gloves because they will likely stain your white. And
Mhm.
all of these expressions, especially in Nigeria, where people refer to politics as a dirty game. And as we've seen, like in your experience, River State is one of the states that is always highly contested. There'll usually be instances of violence, and here you are, godly, you want to change things, and you're going there with these strongholds, so to speak, that you have to face. How do you navigate that part?
Mm. So
Understand,
yeah.
understanding that everybody that you have to work with is not necessarily a person of your faith or even a person of your conviction. How do you
Mm.
navigate?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And for many people who are here, Because we're a Christian group, so I'll use a couple of things that occurred to me in the first instance. One, there was a time when the Israelites were going into the promised land, okay, and they were conquering territory, but the Lord said to them that they will not clear everybody out at once, because if you clear everyone out at once, then what would happen is that the land would just die, you know. So you take territory step by step. You take territory step by step. So for me, I understood day one that you are going to have to take this territory step by step. But you are the forerunner. You are the one that is going in. So are you going to get bloodied? Yes, you will get bloodied, but that is part of. Look, people like courage. People like to know that there are people who are willing to go into the lion's den, into the battleground. Yes, they don't want to go in there, but if you are willing to go there, please go and clear the road for us. We'll come in. But if you are not there doing it, nothing will change. So I met an old politician once and I was challenging him, all this kind of things. Why would you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Then you could have cleaned up the country. You could have brought clean people to come and do. You know, I was just talking, I was young and foolish. So, so he said to me that, look, that you are so right about all of these things. It's true. But you see this your wife that you don't want to stay in. Who will go and clean the place? Who? So you want people to go and clean it first. After they've cleaned it, you come in, it will never happen. Number two, power has never, ever, ever, ever been handed over to anybody. Come, Allah, come and take it. No, you either steal it, you wrestle it, you by force it, or you win it. But it's never handed over. So you must put yourself in the place where you are ready and able to take it. But guess what? Only those who are in the room can take it because they are the only ones who. So you want to take power democratically. You don't belong to a political party. How do you want to do it? It's not possible. So here we talk about the dirty part of politics and all of that. Truly, I have seen business that is filthy. I've seen dirty business. I've seen all sorts of things. I am a Nigerian who is in the oil and gas business, who is doing things globally. And as soon as I walked into any office in New York, Dubai, Singapore, and all of that, the first thing they look at me is that they say, "Ah, you corrupt people. That how did you make your money must be from corruption?" 28 years later, I still have to do due diligence on writing letters about where I made my first money 28 years down the line. And then we have to show them, Sahara, this is what we did, this is how we did it, and all of that. Why? Because I'm a Nigerian in an oil and gas business that, as far as they are concerned, is corrupt. I don't let that change me. So politics is the same. You must stay focused. I am there to ensure that I lead by example so that I can draw like-minded people to come in. Because I ran as we ran, our experience is similar, yes. But I said to him, because you have run, somebody else will run. Because I ran, Ulu Akpata came in. Do we have similar experiences? Absolutely. By 2027, you will have more people like us coming in. By 2031, even more. You take the land bit by bit. But eventually, as God is my witness, we are clearing all of them out. Every single one will go. The majority will be people who want to serve, who want to make a difference and all. But is it going to come easy? Ah, is this nice white going to be stained? Yes, stain it. Stain it. Am I going to get blooded? My nose was blooded, but I learned from it. Tomorrow I'll know how to dodge the bullet. So you slap me the left side. Okay. Maybe I know I might not slap you back, but I will find a way to make sure that you will regret that slap.
Thank you so much. We have one more question, and it's all like a double, double barrel question. It is someone asking, if you lost everything today, how would you rebuild? And
Oh,
then
easy.
the other part of that question is them asking, how do I know when I found my purpose?
Oh, great question. Okay. So which one should I start with? Purpose or losing everything? Purpose. Okay, look, let's start with purpose. The first aspect of purpose is the easiest way to do this. This is what I've found over time. What is it that you hate so much that you don't want anybody, you just don't want it to survive? You hate it so much that every time you see it, it just drives you crazy. Your purpose is hidden in there. In other words, the correction or the eradication of that thing will give you joy. That is your purpose. You will find it in there. The question is, how do you find your purpose? You find it in there. Or what is it that you love so much? You love it that you want everybody else to experience this joy. You just love it so much. Those two extremes, you either hate it so much or you love it so much. The two extremes is usually where purpose is found easier. So people may be in between. Do I really hate this? Do I really love it? But truly, go and find those extremes. You find your purpose there. That's the easiest one. And there are various shades of that, but I think that should describe it. If you lost everything, the beautiful thing is that I may have lost everything 3 times. Okay. Losing material things. So let me start with a lesson that I learned from a Jewish man. It was an experience I'd already been through, but I think this helped me internalize it. He said to me that because of the Holocaust and because of the things that the Jews have gone through from time, from history, Exodus, going into Babylon, being slaves and all of that, they began to teach themselves this thing, that material things, first of all, never put your money and yourself in the same locality. Okay? So he said that when they do their investments and all of that, they invest outside of where they stay, and the investments where they stay, they are ready to lose it all. They never attach any kind of emotion to those investments. Why? Because in their mind, they can be removed anytime from that location. It might be a war, it may be xenophobia, it may be tribalism, it may be anything. And you will never find that any human being, very few people are located where they begin and end. People are nomadic, they travel, they move around and all. So he said to me that the Jews are trained that one, their money never stays in the same place. So they will get gold, they will get assets, they will put it elsewhere. And two, they will get the best houses and all of that in those ways, but they're never attached to those ones. So he said, never be that. That's number one. But what do they invest in? What's the biggest investment? It's not in the material things. He said that know that you are your best investment. So they invest in their knowledge, they invest in their ability, they invest in their self-belief that if I can start anything today, wherever I go, I can start it again. And so that's what they believe in. So they have this self-confidence that they can start from scratch anywhere and they will succeed. And my sister, I tried that and it works beautifully. When I went into politics, I walked out of everything that I had. One of the conditions that I had for Sahara survival was that move me out completely. Let me enter into this political fray so that I know that the wickedness of Nigerian politics means that they will come after your business and all of that. So please, favor me completely. But what gave me that confidence of doing it was that I knew that inside of me is the ability to create, start, believe, and succeed because I'd done it twice before. And so the third time was easy. Did it, and today it's working. Easy. Invest in yourself. Don't be materially and emotionally attached. No, don't be emotionally attached to anything material. Be attached to everything spiritual, but never anything material. Put your money and yourself in two different locations. And wherever you go, believe that you can make it happen, and it will.
Thank you so much. There are no more words to share after that. Just powerful words to wrap this session up. I'd like to say thank you so much, Pastor Cole, for pouring out so richly to us, feeding us, blessing us with your wisdom and insight. I know that everyone who's listening right now and who will eventually watch this will have so much to learn and so much to take away and just use in their own lives and be inspired by. So on behalf of the organizers, everyone who's watching now, everyone who will watch later for years to come, we're saying thank you so much for your time, for the honor of your presence and wisdom that you've shared so richly with us. We are so, so, so grateful. And I'd also like to thank everyone who has been a part of this since we started this very maiden edition. Yes, we did start late because there were technical issues. And we eventually started. We had amazing worship by T Worship, who led us so powerfully in that themed worship, as I said. Again, the theme is redefinition. But, as Pastor Cole said, he said, by the time we start, maybe you start from redefinition, but you're going to end with leadership and just launching out and being activated. So redefinition is a start, but being activated to execute is actually the finish line. And this will be the finish line only for today. We would like you to join us tomorrow for 2 fantastic Power Pack sessions at 1 p.m. GMT and 7 p.m. GMT as well. So if you enjoyed today, remember Pastor Cole said he has the privilege to start and set the bar, but he knows that the best will come at last. So it is going to get better and better and better per speaker. So we are asking you to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you share the video with your friends who missed it. You can share it across your social media platforms, spread the word, and let others be encouraged, be inspired, and be activated to go out and execute their divine destiny to God's glory. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you share the content, and make sure you make it a date tomorrow, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. GMT for 2 power-packed, wisdom-packed, inspiration-packed sessions as we continue tomorrow. Again, it's temp. Make sure you're back. Make sure you bring a friend because this is only the beginning. The journey continues. On behalf of the organizers, again, I'd like to thank our speaker, our worship ministers, everyone joined, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm handing over to, how do I say this? I want to tease it, but I don't want to give it away. So I'm handing over to the lady who's amazing with media. I'm good in media as well, but I'm handing over to another lady who's good in media. She's also good in makeup. So who is she? Tomorrow you will find out. Thank you again for joining, and God bless you. Go out there and shake the world for Jesus.
Hallelujah. God bless. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
My worship, they can't understand my praise, and they may never know what you have done for me, what you've done for me. Why should I be silent in your presence? Why should I restrain myself? I will bow before your throne and worship you, worship you. Take me, let me, let no
saying is what you've done for me. And on your faith, what you've done for me, no one can do. On your faith. It simply means dromo, grace upon grace. Peace of mind. Oh, hami minche, you give me joy, and always you make a way. On your faith. Peace of mind. You always give me joy. Always you make a way. Mile, 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 on your faith. Yeah. Say dromo, dromo, dromo. Sing this song to anybody listening. It says, He is the Lord. Is there anything too hard for him? He is the Lord. He has said it, and surely he will do. Hold on to your faith, your confessions, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He is the Lord. Is there anything too hard for him? He is the Lord. He has said it, and surely he will do. Hold on to your faith, your confessions, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He can do it better for you, far more than you can think that he will ever do. He can do it better for you, yeah. Far more than you can think that he will ever. Yeah, he is the Lord. Is there anything too hard for him? He is the Lord. He has said it, and surely he will do. Hold on to your faith, your confessions, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. Yeah, he is the Lord. Is there anything too hard for him? He is the Lord. He has said it twice, have I heard him, and surely he will do. Hold on to your faith, your confessions. Keep saying what he's told you to say, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. And you will see the hand of the Lord. Doesn't matter the situation, you will see the hand of the Lord, the mighty outstretched hand of the King of glory. And you will see, may you see the hand of God in your family. May you see the hand of God in your business. And you will see that hand of the Lord in your marriage. Oh, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. Amen.